a Spartan wrestler means that you've got a strong work ethic, that you're representing your town and your community to the best of your ability.
What it means to me to be a Spartan wrestler is pride. You have pride in what you do as yourself and as an individual, and then pride for your community and your school.
I have to work hard and try my hardest and not let my team down.
To be a Spartan wrestler, you have to be willing to work hard, go 100% in everything you do.
Brandon was pretty young when he first wanted to wrestle. I mean, he was 6'7" range, so not having wrestled myself, I think my wife and I were both pretty apprehensive that he could get hurt. He was too young, too small. A lot of that went through our heads. We just didn't think he was ready. So we waited a little bit, another year or so after he asked, I think it was, and looking at it now, we wish he had wrestled earlier. We'd went ahead and done it because, like I say, it wasn't anything like we had expected.
When my son came to me and first wanted to wrestle, it was like one of the proudest moments of my life, because I think wrestling is by far the greatest sport a person can be involved into by any stretches of the imagination. It couldn't be a better sport.
I've loved wrestling since I started, but my dad introduced it to me, and I've loved it ever since I started.
I wanted to be a wrestler because my dad was, and then I hadn't caught on and started liking the sports.
I wanted to be a wrestler because it's an individual sport. I wanted something that could push. I had to push myself in the sport.
I've wrestled for 15 years, started when I was 4, and then wrestled up to college. Wrestling means a lot to me. It's something I grew up with, and just accelerated over time. Just kept getting better and working at it. It meant a lot to me, as in, like, it gave me something always to work for.
I've been wrestling for almost 9 years now.
I've been wrestling since I was 4.
I've been wrestling since I was 4 years old, so that would be 8 years.
I've been wrestling since I was 8.
That wrestling has helped Brandon control his emotions. It's just been a good sport for him overall. It's made him a strong person. It's made him have strong character. It's prepared him
It affects him in everything
for a lot of
we do
things he
every
has
day.
to deal with in life.
He is a lot more responsible child. He's obviously self-confident because of it. He's had to learn to lose and win, which is very good. And so as he becomes an adult, I think that all the traits you get from wrestling, all the ups and the downs that come with wrestling, is going to make him a wonderful adult.
I would say it definitely has improved his self-confidence. He's obviously a pretty shy guy, and so when we first started wrestling, we were always a little worried about how our little guy was going to do going out in the middle of a mat, out in front of a whole slug of other people. And so it's definitely changed from his first season to his second season, and now starting his third season. You know, it takes a lot of confidence to go out into the middle of the mat and face off against another kid that is probably just as scared at this age as he is, and get out there in front of everybody, and you know, it's all about what he's going to do, and it's not a team sport. It's a very individual sport.
Wrestling affects my child and every child differently, but for my child in particular, it is the one thing that I see that's starting to give him confidence throughout his whole life. I haven't found nothing else that's given him the confidence that wrestling does.
I feel that our wrestlers develop goal setting, a strong work ethic, the ability to work hard and perform hard. Those characteristics carry out throughout their whole life.
Life lessons that I've learned in wrestling is do everything to your fullest, go 100% at everything you do, and do it just as best as you can.
Wrestling helped create the person I am today because it taught me a lot of motivation and hard work will get you where you need to be. You set goals and you just like think of where you want to be in the future, and that's what you work towards. Wrestling just, it really gets you going to achieve what you need to.
Spartan wrestler would build is definitely core values in themselves. They learn to take a hold of what they want in life and go out there and get it. They learn to, by determination and hard work, that they can achieve the goals that they want to achieve. And then most of all, we teach them to just be respectful. Whether they win or lose, we want them to win like champions and lose like champions as well.
The community, for one, looks up to someone who pushes hard and works for their goals and tries to accomplish their dreams. And when you succeed, the community sees that and they see you as a role model. I tried to be the best role model I could for the community and for the youth of wrestling, and I'm going to continue to try to help them out. My greatest moment in wrestling, I've had a couple. I was All-American, one of Slida's only All-Americans. Going to nationals and placing 4th there was a great accomplishment, and winning state, that was great as well.
Probably winning my first match. Probably the greatest moment in wrestling.
My greatest moment so far in wrestling is placing 3rd at state.
Probably the greatest moment I've ever had was when the first time I made it into the finals of Rocky Mountain Nationals, the Rocky Mountain Nationals tournament, or traveling around and getting to do a lot of wrestling. Like I went to Ohio and wrestled there, and Florida, and Oklahoma, Texas.
The first of the season I wrestled a kid named Isaac Gabarra, and I lost pretty bad to him. And by the end of the year, I lost by 1.00. It went 0-0 through all 3 periods, and he won by 1 in halftime.
Today, wrestling, that's amazing sport. I mean, it's something that it's hard to imagine him not having done it now that he's done it all these years. Like I say, just what it's done for him, and into developing him into the person he is. It's just, like I say, to me, it's probably the best sport there is. I mean, like I say, I didn't do it. I did other sports.
I wouldn't want him to do anything except wrestle. I love that he wrestles. It's made him a wonderful person, and we enjoy the wrestling family as a whole. Even the coaches and the whole family. It is just a great organization, and it is fun for our child to do.
We're so glad that Brandon's wrestling now. It's the best thing that he's done.
How I feel about my child wrestling now, it gives me a lot of confidence that he's going to be able to take care of himself physically and mentally for the rest of his life.
The wrestling room was almost like a second home. I spent so much time and so many hours put into there, and the wrestling team, we grew close together like a family, as a whole wrestling family, working together and accomplishing goals together, setting team goals.
Wrestling to me is a great sport because it is an individual sport. Your successes and your failures, you got to look in the mirror. It's all about you. It's how hard you train. You want to get better than your competition, you better train in the off season, because if you're practicing at the same time as your competition, you're not catching them or surpassing them. But it's ultimately, it's a great sport, and I enjoy being involved in it.
It's hard, it's tough. It's probably the toughest sport that anybody can do. And when you wrestle, you lay it all on the line. And you understand that you're going to give it 100%, and sometimes you're not going to be the winner. And you have to come to grips with that and take it back in the room and work harder.
What makes wrestling a good sport is actually that, in my opinion, it's more of an individual thing. That individual gets out on the mat against another individual, and he or she wins based on what that person does, not what the rest of the team or another person does. So I think that individuality really teaches that person a lot more for life skills than even maybe a team play. Although I think team sports are great, and we do it as a team, so I don't want to say that team sports are not good, but definitely wrestling with its individual part of it makes it a very interesting aspect of the sport.
We'd like to encourage everybody, no matter what your ability is, to step in, give it a try. We got some great coaches that'll work hard with them, and I think they'd be surprised on how far they could go.
I would say step back and let your child do it. It's really hard to watch as a parent as they go through. I mean, they're going to cry, they're going to have a bloody nose, they're going to have issues, but what you get out of it as a parent and what they get out of it as a wrestler far outweighs. The benefits are just amazing. You'll watch your kid get self-confidence, and you know, the self-confidence to me is one of the most important traits you can give your child. So I think, you know, if you are nervous about wrestling, give it time, because you will end up thinking it was great.
To give it a shot, because I think, you know, team sports, you know, you can participate in team sports and kind of hide out and not give your all.
Wrestling's a fun sport.
If a parent was concerned about their child wanting to wrestle, I would tell them it's worth everything. It's been a wonderful thing for our family. It's been a wonderful thing for Brandon and his confidence. I feel like wrestling is it's like no other sport. You really become a family with your team, and therefore all the parents, you form lifelong friendships and bonds. And we're going to miss wrestling when he's done.
Try it out first. If you're thinking about letting your child get into the sport or not, I would say let them try it. If they don't try it, they'll never know. You'll never know. And wrestling is something that you definitely either like or you don't like. So give it a shot. If you like it, stick with it. If you don't, you can move on to other things.
It's, like I say, it's incredible. Coaches, the kids, just, you know, what it does for a kid and develops them. You know, it's amazing.
If someone was going to join wrestling, I would tell them, come out, try it, everything. You'll grow as a person, your personality will grow better, you'll become a lot more motivated, hard worker.
It's just a really fun sport and I like it. Hopefully I can keep it up till college. Maybe an Olympic medal someday.
I plan on wrestling through college.
I'm trying to wrestle throughout college.